Welcome to the Diary of a Beautician. This is your host, Shah. Tune in every Sunday evening from 9 p.m. to listen to my podcast from the health and beauty industry via my website. I will be discussing various topics, stories, news, educational, historical, and personal content. Please head over to my website and subscribe to a monthly newsletter sent exclusively to members, and also you can book my services. Website address is www.shushalondon.co.uk. You can follow me on social network, Instagram at sslondon84, Facebook Shusha London, Twitter Shusha London. I'm also available on LinkedIn as Shusha London. If you have any questions, do feel free to send them via social media, or you can email me at shushalondoninfo@gmail.com. So, welcome back. I hope everyone is well rested from the festive season, spending quality time with your loved ones or even just by yourself. And yeah, I had a nice break as well, and I'm ready to go into my topic of conversation. I also want to welcome those who are joining me for the first time. Thank you. What I do is I tend to do a little introduction, as you just heard, and then kind of go into either a story or go straight into the topic of conversation. So this week I'm going to be discussing balance. So my outtake on balance is bringing some sort of balance to your health, to your well-being. And if you don't know already, I am a qualified beauty therapist, and I provide various different treatments to various of different clients. And what I found along the way, meeting various of people from all walks of life, is there is no balance to their life, to things that they do in their life and their well-being. So I'm kind of going to go into a story from what I've witnessed so far with particular people. So this story is based on this young woman that I see on Instagram. So she has like a big following, on Instagram, Facebook. She's like a beauty guru for, beginners, those who are pro in the, the beauty world. She seems to have everybody just following her. She's a very stunning, beautiful woman. But she's always, makeup, hair done, everything just looks perfect. She just looks super, super duper perfect. And I really admire her in the sense that she's always, always got her work together. So she's, putting out her posts daily. She's doing videos, how-to videos, and then she's traveling around the world doing events. So I really admire her, her hustle, her work efforts. It's really like next to none. She's just really working and grinding to, make a living, and it really is paying off. But that's something that I tend to not really, even though I'm a beauty therapist, I tend to not look at those beauty gurus. I mean, I may see them in my feed if I'm on the social network, but I don't choose to follow them in that sense, because I like to follow other things. So anyway, as I'm on YouTube, and as you do on YouTube, you kind of like scroll along and see what's in your feed and see what there is to watch in content wise. And again, she popped up, and I thought, okay, right, she's there again. Right, do I keep on scrolling? And usually I do. I keep on scrolling on, but this time I decided, right, I'm going to have a look at her. I'm going to see what she's about. I'm going to see, what this big hype about this particular beauty guru. So anyway, I clicked on her video, and proceeded to watch, and just listening to her, she seems really humble. So again, it was the perception, isn't it? It's the seeing the person looking, a certain way. You kind of think, oh, do I not, do I tune in? Do I be a part? But just listening to her, she seemed really humble. And what she was talking about was her health, how her health was declining. And she has not so life threatening, but serious conditions, illnesses that has affected her for most of her life. And for me, that was really, I was shocked because as I said, when you see people like that on, these social networks looking the greatest every day, it's really hard to know whether they actually are going through anything, right? So as she divulges her personal health, problems, it really gave me a sense of, right, there we go. A lot of us don't ever divulge our personal health implications with anyone, right? Most of us are quite personal, quite secretive, or like to go through it, with by themselves or with the people around them, which is absolutely fine, and I totally get that. But what she was doing is she was bringing awareness of her illness, but also kind of giving hope to those who also may have the same sort of condition like her, some type of hope, But what struck me was the balance. She had realized that she was doing all this work. She was busy doing all these things, being glorified, being looked upon, as the it woman, the it girl of the beauty world. But she was not spending time taking care of her health and well-being. And that was what was lacking. That was what was declining. That was the main thing that she had neglected. Okay, she was spending more time on the work aspect than, taking care of her well-being. And that's what it is. It's the balance. It's a balance, guys. It's striking the balance with work, with family life, with, your personal note, striking a balance in order to live, I don't want to say survive, because I think survival is like you're desperately trying to just be a part of this world when you are existing in this world, so you're living. So yeah, striking that balance. There's many of people, as I said, I've met various of clients from all walks of life, but I've always noticed that people in this era, in this timeline, we are always constantly busy. We're constantly doing, we're constantly giving, and we're not thinking about ourselves as much as we should do, until something goes wrong, and then we realize, oh my gosh, I didn't strike a balance with myself and my life. So another example, again, I see all these products online saying that they can eradicate these marks, or they can brighten the skin, they can soothe out the texture, or they can remove the wrinkles, and so on and so on and so on. You guys have seen it. You've seen it all the time on social media. It's everywhere. And if you're not catching it on social media, then it'll be on your TV. Okay, it's everywhere. It's just how it's been advertised to us, okay? And it's again, I've had people saying, oh, I thought they were thinking it was amazing, da, 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 da. But then when people come to me for a treatment, say like a facial, and I always say, if you listen to my previous podcasts, you'll hear that I always do the consultation. It's a must. I need to know who I'm about to treat. I need to know what's going on with you. I need to know, okay? And this is going to benefit you in your treatment. This is also going to benefit you, okay? So then I need to know about you, and that means putting your health first. So you could come in, as I said, you come in to have that facial, and we go over the consultation, we talk about your health, your history, and then I find out that you can't have that facial because you have a skin condition, a very severe one, which won't permit you having this type of facial. Okay. And then I would have to refer you to your GP. Okay. Or if you're not a person that deals with a GP, then your herbalist, or refer you to a dermatologist. Okay. Because it's something that is going on internally, and they can then go away and do bloods and things like that. So again, it's really down to the individual. Okay, you could come into me and you say that's the type of treatment I want, but then go through the consultation, I found out that no, that treatment you wouldn't benefit from that treatment. And I've had a few people been upset when I said, no, look, I've gone over this with you, I've discussed, da 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 da, and I just believe that that's not going to be good for you. I believe this will be more beneficial today. I'm not saying at some later stage that you can't have that, but right now, this is what's going to be more beneficial to you. So, as I said, with the facial, it could turn around that this man or woman has expressed to me that they are going through, so much stress, so much things going on in their life. And then I turned around and said, you know what, you wouldn't even benefit from the facial today. I think a full body massage would be more appropriate and be more, benefiting to you. And, so, most of the time, the clients are like, okay, all right, if that's what you really recommend, then I'll go with it. But again, as I said, we're going back to the balance, right? Because if you're having skin related issues with most things, if you're having something going on externally, so whatever is appearing on the front, on the face, on the skin, on the body, then there's an indication something's going on inside, right? So someone has like acne, okay, then 9/10 out of the time there's something going on inside, and that could be down to what you're eating, how you're taking care of your hygiene, again, the things that you're drinking, stress. There's so many factors in it that, again, as I said, when it comes down to sitting down and having that conversation with the person in a consultation, there I will find out what's really going on and can recommend. But again, as I said, it goes back to striking a balance. So when all these things are happening in your life, like even if you're going through something like at work, okay, and then you come home and your home life is very hectic, and then you're thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been pulled from left to right, then you have to then come to a realization at that time when you're saying, gosh, I've been pulled from left to right, I need time for myself. Well, exactly, you do. You absolutely do deserve time for yourself. And you'll have to then sit down and work out how you're going to strike a balance between work and home life. And then fitting yourself in there, because it's a must. It's all, with everything that happens, it's all about you, right? It's all about you. So striking a balance, finding that balance, being grounded, and be able to say, right, here I am, this is where I stand, and this is what I am about to do or prepare for. So again, balancing is just bringing a sense of peace. Yeah, bringing a sense of peace into your situation in order for you to live in this life. Okay? And as I said, this can, as I've just described, various of different types of balances, not just along side the beauty industry, but talking about, as I said, if you're working in an office, or you are, a chef, or you are, a CEO of a big corporation, or, a small business owner like myself, you've got to learn how to strike those balances. And as I said, some of the solutions is, and as I've given before, is taking time out just to assess where you are right now. You can also sit down, take a pen and paper and write it out, see where you are, what it is you want and what you don't want. If it's mental, if it's a lot of mental, where you're collecting all the experiences and all that you're going through, and you're not able to filter it, then speaking to somebody, right? Again, exercising helps release all that tension and incorporating that into your life. Changing what you eat, changing what you drink, incorporating sleep, doing things that make you happy, things that are not destroying other people or harming other people. No, doing things that's going to help yourself to be able to feel at peace, right? Be at peace with yourself, be able to go on with living in this life, and be able to do the things that you would like to do in this life without having to feel that, oh my gosh, I've got so much going on. Oh my gosh, I've got, to hand in, say like you got handed an assignment, but I also got to go to work. But I really could do with a holiday because I've been constantly studying and working. Then you will then have to incorporate that holiday, because your well-being, which is what tends to happen, as I said, your well-being becomes affected by not allowing time to rest or time to do the things that you like, and you have to find a way. There, like I said, I've mentioned a few solutions, and there could be plenty more, but it's all about you taking time out for yourself and working things out in order to go forward, striking that balance, bringing that balance into your life so you can go on. I remember myself, last year for me was just a hectic and frantic year for me. And that's because I didn't bring a sense of balance to the things that I was doing. I was just everywhere. I was like, right, I'm going to be over here today. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to write this today. It was like I was stacking all these things up in the day, but I wasn't being realistic with it. I wasn't allowing myself to say, look, I can do so much today and then I can leave the rest tomorrow, and then still have time to sit down and enjoy the rest of my day. Okay? So I had to learn, which I have learned, to just strike that balance. Yes, I can work, but yes, I need time to relax. Okay? And that's not you being selfish. That's allowing you to do what's best for you, for your health. Because as I said, when you are all over the place, when life is becoming too stressful, it does then reflect on your health. Okay? So balance is just bringing that steadiness, that equilibrium, just allowing you to be able to do the things you want and still be able to do the other things as well. Okay? And, as I said, even though I'm working in the beauty industry, and I was talking about the beauty industry as well, and I also added other, people's works and other walks of life into the conversation, I hope that, this message will help somebody today, tomorrow, the next day, whenever you do choose to listen to this podcast. Because as I said, what I see, for the people that come to me or just see from social media, we are living in a very hectic a very frantic and crazy world right now. And you know, the the people who are balanced are able to see clear, because that's another thing. When you're balanced, like your mind's good, your health is great, you know, you can make a better decision, you know. So say like your mind is all over the place, you know, you're doing all these things and your mind is just out of sync, and then your body's out of sync as well. And then, you know, someone comes along and asks, well, what do you think about that? And then you can't even think, because it's just like the mind is so foggy. Your body is just, you know, so much fatigue. All of that combined, it's just, how do you make a sound decision or, you know, judgment on whatever it is you're about to do or going to? Okay? So again, it's bringing a balance to your health, okay? Bringing that balance to your health. Always remember, your health is like number one. That's how I see it. Your health is number one. You need it. Without that health, everything else is like a domino effect. Everything just domino. It just goes all the way down. And I can speak this because I've been there. Okay? I've been there. So as I said, if you're not putting your health on top, and I'm not saying you ignore everybody around you and going to this isolation. No, what I'm talking about is you are putting yourself grounding yourself, right? And saying to yourself, I'm going to take care of myself mentally and physically. And then all else will follow. Okay? And that's just it. That's it. Balance. And again, there's so many other things as well. Another solution forgot to say was meditation. Okay? There's various of different types of meditations in this land, and various ways of doing it. You also got prayer, another way of, you know, helping you to bring some type of peace. You also, as I said, there's so many different variations. There's variations of things to do to help balance you. Okay, some people like to be creative. People like to paint, or do music or write. Some people like to have the art of conversation. Some people like to cook. Whatever it is, whatever the medium is, whatever it is, again, explore it. It's never too late. You're still living, and you're still part of the world, right? So explore those things that you have not given real thought to, that may be something that long term will heal you, that will bring a solution to your well-being and your health. So yeah, that's about it. It's I hope, as I said, I hope that somebody will find this very comforting, and, you know, looking at the supposedly new year as, right, okay, with all these fad diets, with all these trends and things like that, push them to the side and start with yourself. What do I need to do to bring about a balance in my life? Where do I need to go? How do I start? What it is that I am battling with? I need some help, you know? Acknowledging and going forward by dealing with the concern, the issue, the problem, you know, going back to the beauty stuff. Again, if you having all these, you know, acne related problems, find out what's going on internally. If you are a woman who's suffering with excessive hair growth, right? That could be an underlying illness like PCOS, or it could be fibroids, it could be endometriosis, it could be numerous of things, but to let it trouble you and allow it to upset you and make you more depressed and sad, then you're not dealing with it, and you become unbalanced. Yeah, because you're unable to go on. You're constantly living in that timeline, in that moment, stressing and worrying about something that you can get help for. Okay, there is solutions. We are living in a world where they share not that many solutions, but there are solutions, and it just takes people to take time out and balance the mind and the body, and then going forth and making some sound and positive decisions with their life. So thank you everyone for tuning in this week. I hope it has been, as I said, I hope it touched you. I hope it's been informative. I hope it shed some light on your situation or someone you know around you. And if you have any questions, like I always do say, do feel free to email me at shashalondoninfo@gmail.com. Talk to me about anything that I have discussed in this podcast today or in previous podcasts. I do encourage you new listeners to go and listen to my previous podcast. There's so much information in there, and there's a lot of some of the podcasts that I did last year. I will be revisiting a few of them because again, there's just untold information that I would like to share, but I don't want to fill your mind with so much information for hours and hours. I just want to kind of keep it short, sweet and powerful. So thank you again for tuning in. Tune in next week for some more great content from myself. Have a wonderful week, guys. Take care.